Hey everyone, and welcome back to our third edition of the CX News Recap. We're going to go over everything that happened in customer experience during the month of June. June was a really heavy month, filled with continued concerns over coronavirus, of course, but also with concerns over inequality and discrimination in this country. We want to emphasize that Worthix stands with the Black Lives Matter movement in their fight for justice and equality. There's a lot of responsibility that we have as businesses to create a safer and more equal world, and we vow to keep up the fight even after the hashtags aren't trending anymore. Basically, every company who has a single ounce of PR savvy posted something regarding the Black Lives Matter movement this month. Some were a little bit tone deaf and opportunistic, some directly conflicted with internal treatment of Black employees, and some, like the Black Tuesday squares, were just kind of pointless. But some brands really came through and took a great first step in showing support and fighting the good fight. Reebok was one of those brands. They released a statement saying, "Without the Black community, Reebok would not exist. America would not exist. We're not asking you to buy our shoes, we're asking you to walk in someone else's, to stand in solidarity, to find our common ground of humanity." Ben & Jerry's also came through, but this wasn't surprising at all. Rather than simply saying, "We stand with you," or "We value Black lives," they took it several steps further and directly railed on the systemic racism and white supremacy that exists in this nation. They also called for 4 concrete steps to dismantle white supremacy that included the creation of task forces and a call for legislation to be passed in Congress, among other demands. This is how you give some girth to your statements. Rather than just saying they're down for the cause, Ben & Jerry's is showing it and actively trying to contribute to the effort. Lego is putting their money where their mouth is and vowed to donate $4 million to organizations dedicated to supporting Black children and educating all children about racial equality. Not only is this a huge financial contribution, a lot more than Virgil Abloh's from Off-White, yikes, but it also comes off as really genuine because it directly impacts their core customer base, which is children. Statements and donations are amazing, for sure, but we need more than that to affect actual change. One Brooklyn-based retailer, Aurora James, came up with the idea of the 15% pledge. This helps break down some of the barriers that Black-owned businesses face, especially during a pandemic. The 15% pledge came from the fact that though our population is 15% Black, only 3% of the products on most major store shelves are from Black-owned businesses. The pledge is to get major companies like Sephora and Target to make their shelves represent the population that they serve. The simple 3-step pledge includes 1. Taking stock and assessing the state of your merchandise mix, supplier by supplier, and auditing the racial representation of executives at your company. 2. Taking ownership. Publicly release these findings. Transparency and accountability are crucial to remedying institutional shortfallings. 3. Take action. You can't just strive to meet 15% Black-owned brand inclusivity, you have to actually do it. While a lot of brands have largely been quiet in response to this, there are a handful of brands that have come forward to put some muscle behind their hashtag Blackout Tuesday posts. As of right now, it's mostly smaller brands who've made the pledge, but there are a few hard hitters like Sephora and Rent the Runway that have publicly announced they'll be taking a deep look at their internal processes to make changes. This seems like a great move towards a more equal industry, but don't get me wrong, it can't be the last step. Starting this past week, Twitter introduced the voice tweet because they decided that 280 characters isn't enough. Select iOS users can now post voice tweets of up to 140 seconds, but if you go over that, it'll automatically start a thread with new recordings. Twitter said about their decision to make voice tweets a thing, "There's a lot that can be left unsaid or uninterpreted using text, so we hope voice tweeting will create a more human experience for listeners and storytellers alike." For the people who have the capability right now, they're posting songs, story times, and ramblings like crazy. Although there's no timeline in place for when Android users can enjoy posting with this feature, all iOS users will be able to use it in the next couple of weeks. Don't worry, Android users, you can still view them and reply at least. So that's what happened this past month. Let us know if there's any other interesting CX news you caught this month in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on post notifications to get notified whenever we post something new, and connect with us on all of our social media listed here on the screen. And we'll see you next month for another CX News Recap.